The strange phenomena of time dilation can simply be proved by the second postulate that light travels at the same speed for all observers. We do not need any complicated math, and I'm going to show it to you using a very simple example. You see, time can be measured by any kind of a cyclical activity, whether the Earth going around the Sun is 1 year, or the Earth rotating about its axis is 1 day, or the minute dial of a mechanical clock making one complete revolution is 1 hour. Any kind of a cyclical activity can be used to measure time. And that is what I am doing here. A light photon bouncing back and forth between two mirrors can be used to measure time. The question now is, if I use this setup to measure time when I am at rest versus when this setup is moving, then would the measurements of time differ, or are they going to be the same? And the interesting answer is that they are not going to be the same. For that, I have two different configurations here. One in which we have a rest clock and the same clock which is moving. So if an observer is looking at this rest clock, then let's suppose the distance between both the mirrors is h, and the time period that it takes for the light photon to go from A to B is simply nothing but h, the distance, upon the speed of light. Now, if the observer looks at this clock which is in motion at a particular velocity v, let's suppose, then clearly the path that is traveled by this light photon in the moving clock configuration is a slanted path. It's a zigzag pattern which is given by this red line. Now, the crucial assumption here is the second postulate of relativity, that the light photon has a speed c in the rest clock and it also has a speed c in the moving clock. Now, this is the fundamental assumption, and it is this assumption that is going to give us the time dilation formula. Here, the path traveled by the light photon therefore is calculated by the Pythagoras theorem as h, and d here is h square plus d square root over, where d is essentially the distance traveled by this clock with a velocity v in a time period del t dash. I'm assuming the time period to be different because that's what we are going to be proving here anyways. So if you look at the time period between two bounces with respect to an observer at rest for the moving clock, then that time period is del t dash, which is equal to the distance upon the speed of light, which is the same for both the light photons. If I just simplify this expression, then I can obtain the time dilation formula. Here d is of course v del t dash. So if I simplify this, I take the third term to the left hand side. H square upon c square is what? The time period between two bounces in the rest clock. And there you have it. The time period between two bounces in the moving clock is equal to the time period between two bounces when observed in the rest clock upon root over 1 minus v square upon c square. An observer in relative motion will measure the time period to be slightly dilated compared to an observer in rest. And this crucial result simply comes as a result of the second postulate of relativity, that light photon travels at the speed of light for all observers.